Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be talking about a tragic missing persons case. These stories are always desperately sad, seeing the faces of the missing on milk cartons or posters hastily tacked to telephone poles. It just breaks your heart. For those of you who are wondering what the hell I'm talking about, which I'm sure is many of you, I'm actually talking about Doomfist. Because as far as I can tell, he's been removed from Overwatch. He was here, he made a grand entrance, everyone was talking about him, and then poof, he was gone, like Batman in a smoke grenade. Now before we continue, I just thought you'd like to know we're doing a cooperative giveaway for $500 worth of Battle.net credit with a couple of YouTube friends. It's easy to enter, all you have to do is click the Gleam link in the description. With that said, let's get on with the video. So why is he gone from our view? Why does he no longer grace our matches with anything like the frequency that he used to? The actual reasons for this are quite numerous, but one of the biggest is the way we all reacted when he was released. I think it's true to say that many people looked at his kit, his insta-kill potential, his mobility options, and the overall sharpness in his design weighting, and were immediately worried, or in some cases outright scared, of what it meant for the game. Now there are a couple of issues attached to this as well. One is his hitbox on the rocket punch, which we'll get to in a moment, and the other is the quickness of his cooldowns, particularly the 4-second one on the rocket punch. Without being smug or superior, we defended it at the time, despite much criticism. A lot of the community compared the power of rocket punch to, say, old Roadhog hook insta-kill, except on a shorter cooldown, and declared it overpowered. There's inherent risk in directly comparing heroes like that because of a deeper reality. No hero actually exists in isolation. It's not a straight one-to-one comparison game. Despite how matchmaking can make us feel sometimes, Overwatch isn't a game about picking any collection of heroes and just deathmatching. Heroes have roles, a job to do that fits in a much bigger overarching metagame. If one focuses in too much on one detail, it's easy to lose perspective on the overall picture. Doomfist was designed to be sharp and dangerous yet flimsy because of the effect it would have elsewhere on other heroes and team comps around him. It's not just him, all the heroes are like that actually. We don't see him as much now because either he doesn't do his job well enough or there are better options to do a similar thing. That point brings us on to the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the rocket punch hitbox. Now we're really good friends with Force Gaming, he's a great guy, and he made a video looking at the wide tolerances of rocket punch's original hitbox. It was a great video and it wasn't so much a criticism of it, it was more of a like, hey, this is a thing. I think when people saw that video or videos like it, they were shocked at how big the hitbox actually was. But again, it's misleading to look at that in isolation. Doomfist essentially becomes a projectile when he uses that ability. And the thing about projectiles is, they're hard to hit, especially in a laggy environment. Many people don't know this, but hit scan hitboxes aren't exactly model accurate for enemies either, because if they were, nobody would be able to hit anything online. The picture you're seeing on screen while playing online is not what's actually happening. It's just the most accurate that the game can give you. Because everyone in a match is seeing a variably accurate picture of what's going on, wider tolerances to hitboxes have to be built in for it to make any sense. Think on Genji's Reflect. Some players complain about its size, saying it's too big, too easy to use. But if it wasn't as big as it is, it would be effectively useless. You can already flashbang to the side or above with McCree and still get Genji. If it was smaller, McCree would always beat a Genji, instead of it being a duel, which is what it's supposed to be. Now functionally, Rocket Punch needed to have a very large hitbox to actually be viable, just like the previous example. This resulted in some weird looking interactions, particularly in the vertical plane when someone was above or below you. The infamous Genji clip on Route 66, where a hit was registered when Genji was almost entirely below the punch, had many people upset. This was changed, as we all know. Now Rocket Punch is much harder to hit, and in practical terms, much less useful. Doomfist's playstyle constantly puts him at risk. Yes, he could instantly impact a situation, but he did so on a knife edge of great danger. If his main tool becomes too hard to utilize, people just won't bother and look for other, less risky options. This is what has effectively happened. But it's not just that, there's more contributing factors too. Doomfist actually had many viable counters even at his strongest, and at the same time of him being made less viable, they were being made better. Junkrat, Roadhog, Zarya, they all got buffs that made them more effective. Yes, against Doomfist, but in some cases, just better overall. Roadhog in particular was good against Doomfist, which is odd considering that at the time in the main game, Hog wasn't seeing much use himself after several iterative changes to his hook. Doomfist brought him back, just like he did McCree and many other heroes that were passed over when Dive was undisputedly king. The new Hog with his extra tankiness and mobility would certainly be a great pick against Doomfist, just like he is against the new Mercy res. We'll come back to Mercy in a moment actually. Junkrat is a Doomfist Doomfist nightmare. 2 mines, a big fat hitbox to hit with grenades, a trap. Bad news for Mr. Fister. Even if Doomfist got his old hitbox back, there's even more in the game now to battle him than there ever was before. Alright, back to Mercy and her recent change. After thinking about it for a long time, I think it's reasonable to say that her rework didn't come out of nowhere. I actually think when you look at all the changes to all the heroes since Doomfist's introduction, there's clearly a longer term thread running through it all. New Mercy res would be quite an answer to a Doomfist rocket punch insta-kill, don't you think? It reminds me that Blizzard have a much clearer picture than we do. They obviously know about changes before us. In fact, they look at it in a way many of us can't. They see the complete tapestry, the masterwork. They built it. When changes come out iteratively for us on the PTR, we're getting snippets of that larger picture. We can't see what's coming next. This makes it even more dangerous to look at things purely in isolation. We're drawing conclusions on incomplete data. Ask yourself, with everything that's changed in the game, would Doomfist be a problem even if he had his old hitbox back tomorrow? I don't think so, especially with the new Mercy. So I guess the simple way to answer why we don't see him much anymore is because other options have become more attractive and meta shifts around him have provided answers for what his strengths were. Think on Rhine. He has barely changed, yet he's come in and out of meta because of changes around him. The question is, will we see Doomfist changed? Will we see him again? I hope so personally. He had his spice and variation to the game when Dive had ruled it for a very long time. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Doomfist. I'm sure this video will spark much debate. We look forward to reading your guys' thoughts. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you never want to miss another video of ours again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in good company. And finally, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter. It's where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.